Oh, hey guys. I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, look, I thought I'd make a YouTube another video. Today's topic is not going to be about Carlton and whether they should keep Michael Voss or not. I will elaborate on that another time, but I think a more it's been I don't think enough emphasis. Well, I think now in the media, I think there is a bit more emphasis on sorry guys, I had the A-League Australian Cup on in the background. Good game between Melbourne Victory and some Olympic NPL team. Anyway, that's irrelevant. As I was saying, it doesn't get talked about in the media enough. This topic, but I think it is. It's starting to gain a bit of traction now, and it's starting to get more attention. Is the development of North Melbourne? It's really. I have done my research. I've written down the players they have drafted from 2015 onwards. I haven't listed every single player, but just players of note. I've listed all the first round picks and all the second round picks, and sometimes North Melbourne have had multiples of two, second round picks or two first round picks, especially over the past 3 or 4 years. Just what's what I'll name the players that they've recruited, and just give an idea as to what I think's going on. Is there a deeper issue with North Melbourne and all that? But let's dive right into it. So in 2015, in the first round, they drafted Ben Mackay with pick 21. They drafted Ryan Clark with pick 31, Mitchell Hibberd with pick 33. Okay, so both Ryan Clark and Mitchell Hibberd have both been delisted. That was at pick 31 and 33. Ben Mackay, obviously, as we know, plays at Essendon now. In 2016, with pick 12, Jai Simpkin, still on the list, has played nearly 200 games. With pick 34, they recruited Declan Watson, didn't play a game, and got delisted, obviously. With pick 36, they recruited Josh Williams and played 2 games and got delisted. And in all seriousness, guys, before I went over and it's very unlike, I've never heard of an AFL player. I never heard of Declan Watson and Josh Williams. I actually never heard of them before going through that, and I was like, oh, okay. And they were both drafted at pick 34 and 36, respectively. In 2017, with pick number 4, I think this was a good draft for North Melbourne. I think they did well here. They drafted Luke Davis-Uniacke, and questionable. Will Walker with pick 23. He only played 6 games for North Melbourne. Tristan Cherry with pick 72. With that is an absolute steal. So yeah, Tristan Cherry with pick 72. That is a steal in the 2017 draft. That is a steal. He is a gun ruckman. And for 2018, they drafted Taron Thomas with pick number 8, and we all know the issues Taron Thomas had, and North Melbourne ended up having to delist him due to his off-field behaviour. Pick 46, Curtis Taylor, who went on to play 76 games before getting delisted. With pick 49, they recruited Bailey Scott, I believe Bailey Scott was a father-son. He has played over 100 games, so that is not too bad, Bailey Scott. Okay. In 2019, this is where it gets interesting. They didn't have a first-round pick in 2019, and you think a club that's rebuilding, why didn't they have a first-round pick? Anyway, this is part of the reason why Brad Scott took off. With pick 31, they recruited Charlie Common. pick 31, Charlie Coleman, 28 games. I believe he got delisted. Pick 34, they recruited Jack Mahoney, played 44 games, got delisted, ended up at Gold Coast and got delisted at Gold Coast as well. 2020 AFL draft, they recruited Will Phillips with pick 3, and that's a bit of a controversial pick because everyone thought they should have recruited Logan McDonald. With pick 13, they recruited Tom Powell. They're the only players I wrote from that draft that, I didn't include every single player, but that's 2 first-round picks, Will Phillips and Tom Powell. In 2021, they recruited Jason Horne-Francis with pick 1. They recruited Josh Goda with pick 22. They recruited Paul Curtis with pick 34, Miller Bergman with pick 38, and Jackson Archer with pick 59. Okay, in 2022, they drafted Harry, which they famously gave up their number 1 pick to get 2 picks. So they recruited Harry Sheasel with pick 3, George Wardlow with pick 4, Braden George with pick 26. And I think that's all I wrote for 2022. So Sheasel, Wardlow, and Braden George. In 2023, they recruited Kobe McKercher with pick 2, Zane Dersma with pick 4, Taylor Goad with pick 20, Will Dawson with pick 22, and Riley Hardman with pick 23. In 2024, they recruited Finn O'Sullivan with pick 2 and Matt Whitlock, I think his name is, Whitlock with pick 27. So, as you can see, guys, they've had an extensive list of draft acquisitions from 2015 onwards. I am not too sure what... Okay, let's just start from 2015. Ben Mackay. Okay, obviously they couldn't do much about Ben Mackay. He exercised his free agency rights and moved across to Essendon. Okay, so not a lot they could do there. Ryan Clark with pick 31, Mitchell Hibbard with pick 33. Both are still not playing AFL. 2016, you can say Jai Simpkin was a pretty good pick with pick 12. I mean, again, you can argue a case that he hasn't really developed or come on like they hoped. I really think Jai Simpkin is more of an inside midfielder than what he is a forward or wingman or what other positions they play him. I really think this is the thing with going too big in the middle. North Melbourne, they can't fit them all in. Declan Watson with pick 34, Josh Williams with pick 36. I mean, both those guys barely played games. I mean, Josh Williams played 2 games. 2017, I think they did really well in this draft outside of Will Walker. I don't remember Will Walker much, but he only played 6 games with North Melbourne at pick 23. So again, that was but they recruited Tristan Cherry with pick 72, which I think is an absolute steal. He's a gun ruckman. How he slipped that far on the draft, I don't know. Okay, 2018, Taron Thomas. There wasn't a lot they could really do about Taron Thomas. Look, actually, I'll rephrase myself. Let's just go through the first round picks. Let's forget the second round picks. Let's forget the third round picks for now. Jai Simpkin, we'll say that's a tick, okay? Jai Simpkin, a tick. I would say that's a tick. Ben Mackay, yeah, question mark, I would say. There wasn't a lot they could do about that, so we'll exclude Ben Mackay. I'll count pick 23 as I wouldn't count that as a stab in the dark. That is still a pretty high pick. So Will Walker was a miss. Luke Davis-Uniacke, obviously a tick. Tristan Cherry at pick 72, absolutely a tick. Taron Thomas, well, I think that is a miss. I really think that is a miss. I know the club couldn't do much about that. I know it wasn't really within their control, but again, I would say that's a miss. Curtis Taylor, well, 76 games for someone that was pick 46, I think is half decent. Bailey Scott, over 100 games at pick 49, I'd say that's a tick. Okay, 2019, they didn't have a first round pick. Their very first pick in that draft was Charlie Common. I would have to say that's a miss. I don't know, and I remember him when he played a few games, but I would say that's a miss. But again, that's not really a first round pick. Jack Mahoney, again, pick 34. We're just doing first round picks at this stage. And sorry guys, I'm going for too long here. There's a very extensive draft haul here that I want to go through every draft thoroughly. So apologies for the time it's taking. Okay, Jack Mahoney. Okay, we're not counting. So Will Phillips. I reckon a big question mark around him. I have not seen him. I don't think he even gets a game this season. He has been in and out of the team. He hasn't really come on like they would have hoped or like they would have thought. And again, guys, this comes down to North Melbourne being so top heavy in the middle. I do not know why they recruited Will Phillips. There wasn't a need to get Will Phillips. They already had more than enough midfielders. Well, maybe not at the time, but I guess that was their draft strategy, to go really hard in the middle of the ground. So that was their draft strategy. That's the way they're going to proceed going forward. So Tom Powell at pick 13. Now, I don't know a lot about Tom Powell. See, this is the thing. They got so many first round picks. Again, let's have a look. I'm just going to do a bit of research here.